Hey everyone, this is Thermite, and this is the weekly update. As always, very first link below is Weekly Shonen Jump. Please check it out. This week was oh god, like the entire back half of the stream was really fantastic. First half kind of but first half was also a lot of culling. Like, I've you can check out the list below if you want the big spoils, but I definitely dropped two series, and one of them's now moved to the pre-recordeds, probably to be dropped later. It's slimmed down, which means that I can actually, possibly continue to do streams going forward, but we will see. If I don't do streams, I guess there is no better way to let you know beforehand, apart from just on the day. Because on the day, it is genuinely very difficult to say, will I have enough time or not? Will I just be held back for 2 hours arbitrarily for no reason whatsoever? Can't say. Anyways, so if you may wonder, what am I doing here? What am I looking at? What is this Excel spreadsheet? I want to quickly go through every series currently running in Jump and rank them by my perceived amount of comedy in each one and the perceived potential it has to become a battle manga. Now, when I say perceived potential, I mean some of these are battle manga. Like One Piece, I would say is a battle manga. Like there's other stuff in there as well, but it's also like there's a lot of fighting. If you said One Piece is not a shonen action battle manga, then nothing is a shonen action battle manga. So like that would just be a straight 10 right now. But then something like Time Paradox Ghostwriter, for instance, I can't imagine it having any battle potential. I mean, okay, we have had physical action in the series, like once or twice. Main character nearly got his eye stabbed out. So there's a little bit of potential. And honestly, actually, considering what happened this week, there might be more potential than I thought. So never mind. That would be like more of a 2 than a 1. But like, is there anything here that has a straight 1? I'd say the first series on our list, actually. Act Dodge, Battle Potential 1. We have seen action scenes, but they've all been acting. Like, it has been either, they're on stage and performing a fight, and therefore we see the fights. Or it tends to be more of a, cerebral fight, more of a battle of wits, or battle of, ideals. I cannot imagine, like, the final arc of Act Dodge being a thing where Yanagi gets a literal knife and is told, you gotta kill these 5 other actresses. There's no other way. Then comedy potential. I should write comedy potential, not battle, not just comedy and then battle potential. I want to say straight comedy because I want to talk about how so many series in Jump right now tend to be a mix of comedy, but at the same time, I should say potential because some of them, like, boy, let's see when we get to Mashal how highly I rank it as comedy potential. Like, Act Dodge has a fair bit of comedy in it. There is a lot of just, ribbing each other, a lot of, like, even just, like, visual goofs, or goofs of, this person is acting extremely weird in this scenario, like, they're just really awkward. It'd be a very rough sell to try and sell Act Dodge right now as a actual gag series, but I could see it happening. I mean, legitimately. If there is an arc that is just a she goes into a like a rom-com or something. Like she wants to build up her credentials on screen with not serious drama stuff, but with comedy. I could see an entire comedy arc that is treated like a actual gag manga. So yeah, I'll give it a 5 for now. A Gravity Boys comedy potential. I mean, I can't say the comedy potential is how much it can potentially make me laugh. I feel like that's a bit unfair. In terms of how much it is trying to be a gag manga. Like, that is a straight 10. It is trying very hard to be comedic. And battle potential, like, we have the mech suits, we have, aliens showing up. Like, there is some level of danger, of intrigue. So, could it become a full-on battle series? I don't think so. I do think the final arc, like, of A Gravity Boys is going to be a big, like, we're going to have a cool action set piece in it. It's not going to be a battle manga, but it is going to have like a, they're all fighting and Chris has to get away or something like that. So, 4. Ayakashi Triangle. Oh boy, so, I mean, since I've read the one-shots, like, the Ayakashi are clearly, like, as of the chapter I last read in this reaction, clearly, like, the Ayakashi are supposed to be a thing. Like, we are going to get into, like, the Ayakashi coming and fighting and, having to defend Suzu. So I'm seeing extremely high battle potential. Like, I genuinely cannot see the series continuing on as a standard rom-com. Like, this is the pinnacle of the traditional, like, the Rosario to Vampire thing of you start off as a rom-com, you become a straight action series with, with lewd gags and stuff in there, of course, but it is like I do think we're going to get it to a point where it is more fighting than comedy, because comedy is genuinely difficult to do. And Ayakashi Triangle has not had good comedy in it. So I feel like the mangaka is going to try and lean more so towards world building and fighting and stuff. So I'll give that a 9 for battle potential and a 6 for comedy. I don't know. Oh, maybe a 5. Honestly, I think Act Dodge has more potential as a comedy series than Ayakashi Triangle does, because like the gags in Ayakashi are so blasé. They're so just like, look, this guy in a girl's body is not embarrassed, or here's a boob, or we see Shiragane's balls. It's so extremely not funny. It is so like these are the trappings of comedy. I think that's the other reason why I think it has such high battle potential, because there are some series that start off very funny and then become very action focused. But I do think Ayakashi is like, it's doing the comedy thing because it's supposed to be doing the comedy thing. It is like it's making you have the big ha-has because it wants you to be endeared to the characters really quickly. So then when they get into dangerous situations, you care for them. It's a it's a thing that honestly I think a lot of other battle shonens and even like battle royales should try to do more. Like do a big slice of life / comedy arc right at the start to make you like the characters. Otherwise, like a bunch of people die and you just don't give a shit because it's like, well, these people were just introduced. They haven't done anything out of the ordinary. They've made no imprint in my mind. So you know what? I'm giving it a 4. Act Dodge has more comedy potential. Black Clover has good gags. It is also more so of a battle shonen than, like, if One Piece is a 10, Black Clover is a 10. Like, if One Piece, honestly, Black Clover could be a 10 and One Piece could be a 9, in the sense that One Piece does have, like, in each arc, like, because the arcs are so big, we do have lots of time of just, people talking and flashbacks and, like, general adventure stuff in addition to the fights. Whereas Black Clover, I'd say, you know what, I'm going to downgrade One Piece to a 9 in terms of battle potential. Because Black Clover is the ultimate in it's just a fighting series. Like, we have so little downtime in between arcs. And even, like, in the middle of arcs, a lot of it is just, like, we're having a fight and we're doing the flashback at the same time. Or, we gotta have some, like, battle training in the middle of, the relaxed arc because you gotta have the fights. Comedy potential, I'll give it a 6 or 7. Like Petite Clover, which is, the ending thing for all of the anime episodes, it's funny. Yuki Tabata clearly likes doing funny things. Like, Yuki Tabata has done a very good job of mixing the comedy and the action. Very, like, in a way where I would never say I read Black Clover for the comedy. Like, never, for sure, absolutely not. But I think every single member of the Black Bulls has at least one gag or one thing connected to a gag that I really like, that I, find very memorable. So yeah, I'll give that a 6. I mean, we do have Muguto Black Clover, which is, the chibi complete comedy spin-off, and it's doing just fine. So you know what? 7. Now, Bone Collection. Bone Collection, it feels like it's really trying to pop off, but honestly, less so than Ayakashi. Like, Bone Collection also has had a very clear desire to be a series about, like, peace, about learning to live with yokai. So, like, while it is a straight, it is a series where they go out and do missions and fight yokai, at the same time, it's not a 10 out of 10 battle potential. It is more of a 9. Like, I imagine it is going to get to a fast One Piece pace. Like, I don't think it's going to last that long, but within the amount of chapters we have, I think we'll have a similar mix of action to not action as One Piece. As for comedy potential, I do find it funny. Like, I have found every chapter, except for chapter 1, amusing in some way. It hasn't been extremely laugh out loud, but it's been decent. So I'll give it a 7. Now, Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is a series that is full of gags. Like, I mean, it is also a 9 out of 10 in terms of battle potential. But in terms of, like, the characters do a thing, and I do laugh out loud, or I do go, "What are you doing?" Like, it's such a good mix. It is, yeah, it's definitely better than Bone Collection in that aspect. Like, that's an 8. I could see a full, like, Chainsaw Man 4 coma. That would be really funny. Like, one that is just all interactions and new devils with goofy powers and Denji doing goofy shits. Now, Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is another series where, yeah, it has a very gag basis to it. Boichi's style, like, not his normal style, but his Dr. Stone style, is clearly supposed to be halfway between his normal style and a gag style. Like, not even halfway between normal Jump and normal Boichi. Like, it is, like, the roundness is there, the, like, ability to make anything chibi while still clearly being able to distinguish what it is. It's honestly, like, I'm very disappointed in Mashal for how shitty designs are. I do think Dr. Stone's designs are an infinitely better version of what Mashal does, which is you just put a magic line on the face, and that way it's very easy to differentiate all the characters. Dr. Stone, like, the cracks in Dr. Stone, even if you took all the cracks off the characters, they're still very recognizable. But the cracks give them this instant, like, oh yeah, that's Yo, that's Tsukasa, that's Senku. And for battle potential, like, I gotta give Dr. Stone a high 9 on both. Like, I can never see Dr. Stone becoming a full-on, all we do is fight series. Even, the big war against the, the Kingdom of Might was not all battle. A lot of it was, figuring stuff out. And honestly, I also really didn't like that arc because, like, so many of the inventions just kind of came out of nowhere because they had to keep up the action-y pace. But the most recent arc, like the Island arc, I felt like really managed to be better at the balance by not being all action all the time. Like, all the setup was done, more slowly. It had more time to breathe. And then when the action happened, we knew almost everything that was set up, except for, one or two key things that we could have for twists. Haikyuu, I think I have to abstain. Based on the first, like, chapter or two that I read, it seemed fun. I can't imagine it having a lot of, like, physical battle potential, but then again, it is a sports series. And a lot of sports series do have that vibe of, if if Robot from Robot Laser Beam decided to kill someone, he could probably snipe them with a golf ball. Like, I could see Robot, or I could see, like, Kuriko's basketball, not devolve into a battle manga, but I could see a battle arc, or just a actual street fight arc. So, I'll give Haikyuu a 5 on both. Because, yeah, I could see, like, the opening of Haikyuu going either way. Like, especially since I have heard a lot of good things about the action later on in terms of, the sports action. So, yeah. Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin. Again, have not seen anything from it in either way, so I'm just gonna remove it from the list. Like, more so than Haikyuu. Haikyuu, at the very least, I have a general gist of the vibe. So even if, just 5 and 5 is sort of a cop-out, at the same time, it's as, I can have an opinion on it. Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin, I skipped. I'm not going to read it until it's in volumes. That's just how it is. Now, Hunter x Hunter. Battle potential for Hunter x Hunter might be a 6. It might be a 6 or a 7. It has a lot of potential for battle, but I don't know if the battle is there. I mean, I guess it is like a dark mirror to Black Clover, and that Black Clover is, like, it's always fighting. If we do have downtime, there is, like, just fighting right off to the side, or, like, we're cutting back and forth between a fighting or training. Sometimes it's training. Whereas with Hunter x Hunter, it is, there's a fight happening, and we spend a lot of time doing stuff that is not the fighting, and then we eventually get back to the fighting. Like, it is, but it's not One Piece, where One Piece will, really space things out. Hunter x Hunter is so much more spaced out. There's so much space. So I'll give it a 8. Not being too facetious, it's got to be an 8. It's not like a 7 or a 6. Comedy potential. I don't find Hunter x Hunter very funny. Like, I think I like it. I like the series, and there are gags in the series. But I don't think I would read a comedy spin-off of Hunter x Hunter. So, 3? Jujutsu Kaisen? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to abstain from Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm just gonna delete it. Because once again, I mean, did I read more than the first chapter? I don't know if I did or not. Legitimately, I can't remember. Magu-chan, God of Destruction. Common. There is potential for comedy, but it has not made me laugh very much. But it is clearly attempting to be a comedy-centric series. So, based on the chapters we have right now, I gotta give it a 9. And then as for battle potential, I think also 9. It is rip and raring to be a battle series. Like with the, just the mention of other gods and stuff, I do feel like this entire first volume is going to be, here's a little more introduction to the city. This is why Magu would then care about the city, and then we meet another god of destruction, or we meet another god that's been chibified. I cannot imagine going any other way. I'll give it an 8 because I don't, like, apart from the mention of other gods, we don't have anything else that's really pushing for it, but it feels so clearly like it's gonna be a fighting series. Or a mixed series. Mashal. What is Mashal's comedy potential? I mean, ah. It really. I mean, these are both potential, not execution. I gotta remember that. Because when it comes to execution, Mashal fucks it up real bad. But it is trying to be comedy, and I think it is not really trying to be a battle series. There are fights in it. And like, the fights recently have gotten more, better than just Mash punches the guy. But that is still, like, it is still trying to be One Punch Man, but not even, like, how do I put this? Murata's manga version of One Punch Man has super expanded fights. Mashal is like Mashal is to One's One Punch Man what One's One Punch Man is to Murata's One Punch Man. Like, the fights just do not exist in Mashal, and I think that's fine. Like, that is selling the gag honestly better than Murata's One Punch Man, or maybe even One's, because like the focus is not on a bunch of side characters fighting them. The gag is straightforwardly like, we're only following Mash. There are other magic users out there, but it doesn't matter. We don't need 50 chapters of them. We can just have Mash punch the guy. It's fine. So, battle potential, I've got to give it like a 6. I don't think we're going to get like really out there big fights, because I think that would, like, the series would suck if they did that. It already sucks, but it would suck so much more if the mangaka tried to make it a legitimate fighting series. That said, I'm not totally sure where else it can go. I think it is going to try to just, it's going to stay in this holding pattern of Mash does a thing, and it's good, but then we, like, really hype up the villains before he comes in and makes everything just once more. Comedy potential, I guess, also a 6. I mean, I can only do the X and Y axis, but it feels like there should be a third axis of, like, potential to, like, there's the potential for comedy, and then there's, like, the actual amount of comedy. Because the way I'm phrasing this, it looks like Mashal is, in some metric, better than Haikyuu, and that is not the case. Mashal is attempting to be a comedy series. Haikyuu is not. The fact that Haikyuu is so close to Mashal in terms of both comedy and battle potential is bad, because Mashal wants to be a comedy action series, and Mashal wants to be that, and Haikyuu doesn't. Yozakura family, Yozakura was okay. Like, it was fun enough. So, on both, I'll give those a 7. I think it is roundly better than Mashal, but it isn't great. Which is upsetting, because the art is significantly better, and, like, the character dynamics are also significantly better. So the fact that it's still lagging that far behind, like, there's gotta be a Z-axis of wasted potential. That would really tie this together. Mitama Security, I do really find Mitama Security funny, so 8. Battle potential, now, when we first got Mitama, I had it pegged for this is going to be a battle series, and so far it has not been a battle series. Like, I have dipped in and we have had fights, but the mangaka has been, like, reining it back every time. They have been walking the line, so I'll give it a 7. Like, we've had enough fights that it is definitely an action, an action comedy. But at the same time, it's not going full in. I don't think it's going to abandon the comedy for the action. Morking, very straightforward gag series, very clearly setting up battles. Like, people keep on telling me they don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We have so many of the king candidates in the same area. We now have the what are they called again? The Soledads? Was that it? No, that doesn't sound right. It's but the assistants that are also human shaped and also have human level fighting abilities. Like, it really is just, we gotta keep on doing the gags until we hit the breaking point, and then we can have it all be fights. So battle potential 9, comedy potential 6. It doesn't help that a lot of it is, Shoko just going, no! I think that with Oku, like, Shoko's gotten a lot better as a comedic foil, but she's still, like, the gags still are not that great. It still feels a lot like just the holding pattern of keep inserting comedy until audience hits critical mass and then become action. My hero battle potential is 9. I still don't like. I think Black Clover has to be the only true 10 out of 10 battle potential series, because it is like it keeps on setting up the concept for more fights, and it's also always all fights. My hero does have downtime. Comedy potential. Does my hero make me laugh? Not a lot. There are gags. There are a couple gags I find funny. But then there's a lot like, Ida's robot thing, or I guess most of the gags that the like class 1A have, like, all their gags kind of suck. They're sort of there to make you like them a little bit, but then they don't do anything to really make it better. Also, the pro heroes don't have a lot of good gags either. Like, you got a couple that are just, hey, I do the pervy gag, but that's sort of it. So, I'll give it a 5. I know My Hero also has multiple spin-off comedies, but One Piece, comedy potential, 8. I mean, we do have One Piece Party, which was shit. But I do think, like, if Oda wanted to do a, like, I mean, Oda has done, like, entire fights, entire, subsections of arcs. Not entire arcs. Even Foxy, I would say, is not a full comedy arc. But he's done, like, big stretches of really funny stuff where I have enjoyed it as comedy. I think it's good comedy. I think Oda knows how to do comedy. You know what? I'll give it a 9 for that, in that case. Like, I do think if Oda wanted to do a 100% comedy only arc of One Piece, or if he said the serious arc of One Piece is now over, it's all comedy now, I think he could do it. It'd be, a little disappointing, but he could do it. Time Paradox Ghostwriter. I mean, 1? Maybe 2? Like, again, we've had gags. Itsuki Aino had, like, the whole, like, is she gonna kill me? Is she not? Like, that whole misunderstanding was funny. But apart from that, the series is very, like, I wouldn't say deathly serious or anything, but it's not something that I think would transition into comedy very well at all. Undead Unluck could transition extremely easy into comedy. So 9. Battle potential. I guess every arc has been fighting thus far. Like, it's either been fighting or it's been extremely close in proximity to fighting. So, it's close to a 10 as I might get for Black Clover, honestly. Like, yeah, I would say the balance of fighting to not fighting is the same as Black Clover, so it's a 10. Then We Never Learn. I mean, we're in the final arc of We Never Learn. I'm just gonna say it. It ain't battle manga. There's so little, like, there's, like, slapstick, I guess. But even that, like, in a lot of Jump series, there are definitely more fighty moments. I would say it is up there with Time Paradox Ghostwriter as one of the least badly series in all of Jump. Or in all of current Jump, obviously. I'm not gonna try and talk about, decades of Jump. Give that a 9. Comedy potential. I mean, again, we're near the end. Like, It's hard to say potential for any of these because we're so close to the end. But like in these final arcs, like in the the arcs for each girl, we've had a lot of comedy. Like some of them have been kind of sappy, but they tend to be a good mix of like here's some closure, but also here are some like good gags, or here's some here's a big goof that then transitions into a really good heartfelt moments. So 9 as well. Actually no. Because realistically, if the mangaka were to say, "Hey, series is now over, but I'm just gonna do some 4 comas," I don't think they'd be that good. Like I think We Never Learn also has exhausted a lot of its comedy potential. Like it's used up that potential, therefore the potential is no longer there. So I'll give it a 7. That doesn't say how funny I think it is, but it's how funny I think it could be going forward. Like I do think the next 2 arcs that we have before the series is over are gonna make me laugh, but they're not gonna make me like laugh a ton. They're not gonna make me go, "Oh, I wish we had a full comedy arc." So that's all we got. Let's put this into a graph real quick. There, that actually makes a statement that I wanted to make, which is that everything in Jump seems to have a very high comedy potential to me personally. I don't know why I sorted it by battle potential before. That was stupid. That doesn't say anything. Yeah, I'd say like if this is the 50% line, My Hero is at like 50%, then like most of Jump is above 50% potential. You could just make this a comedy. Except for Ayakashi Triangle. Yeah, that's accurate. That's all for now. Thank you so much. If you want more things like this, please support Mr. Donut the Donut's Patreon. For just $5 a month, I will make a graph like this.
No promises.
No promises.
I don't have $5 here.
You don't?
No.
I mean, then you'll know. Everyone who supports you for $5 a month wants the graphs.
Okay.
$4 early access.
I mean, it's not anything I have to do, so sure.
$4 early access. $4 also full length. Just one or the other. $8 you get both. $5 you get a graph.
Yeah, it's the secret hidden fifth tier that you have to secretly enter.
If you know, you know. Alright, thank you all so much. Bye for now. Yeah.